crochet crowd. Inspire, create, and celebrate. Let's learn something.
Welcome to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host, Mikey. Today's the Crochet Study of Therapy blanket. I designed this while I was having surgery and recovering. So this is using Bernat blanket Patchwork. You see the colors are just changing on its own. That's the yarn doing the magic. There's 4 balls in the color called Nautical. And then the final border that is applied to this is 1 ball of dark teal in regular Bernat blanket. And you'll be using an 8mm size L crochet hook in order to play. Also, we'll be using a 10mm crochet hook in order to have the exterior border so that the tension is good. So what we're going to do is get ourselves started. It's a nice, easy repeating pattern. There is a crochet diagram that's available in the download if you'd like to be able to get that. And let's be able to start this right now. Let's begin our stitching journey. You can either chain 81 or you can do multiples of 6 plus 3. So if it's the multiples of 6 plus 3, you go 6, 6, 6. And when you're happy with the width of it, just add 3 more and you'll have balance. And that's what I'm going to do here. So either chain 81 or multiples of 6 plus 3. So to do this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and if you're happy with the width, then you can stop. If not, keep on going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Happy, yes or no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to do one more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to say I'm happy with the width, and I just need to add 3 more for balance. And we're going to be getting to go on row number 1 next. Row number 1, we're going to go second chain from the hook. So we got the 1 and go 2. So just going to single crochet in each of the chains, going all the way across to the other side. So 1 single crochet starting second chain from the hook all the way to the other side, and I'll see you there in just a moment. So go right into your last chain, turn your work, and let's begin row number 2. And let's start. Row number 2, we're going to chain 3. That will count as your first double crochet. Here's a tip though. Sometimes these double crochets, especially on the edges, can be a little bit loose. So you can just chain 2 if you prefer and say that's the same thing as a double crochet. And even though it says chain 3 in the pattern and it counts as a double crochet, you can chain 2 if you want to, and it will have the tighter edge. But you decide what you prefer. So starting in the very next stitch, you're just going to double crochet yourself across. So you'll go right to your very last stitch and meet me there in just a moment. So just double crocheting right to the very last one, and you're going to turn your work, and we're going to begin row number 3. In our videos, we use video chapters. It's in the video description or pinned comment, and the repeat for this particular blanket is rows number 3 through 10. At the end of number 10, you can go to the video description, click row 3, and it will take you right back to the start of row number 3. Let's begin to do that next. Row number 3, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to start with this first one and single crochet yourself all the way across. So single crochet all the way across for row number 3, and I want you to do the last one, turn your work, and get ready for row number 4 next. So I'm coming up close to the end. Don't forget that turning chain. Whether you chain 3 or chained 2, it doesn't matter. You're still going to use the top of that chain. So by chaining 2, it just keeps it a little bit more firmer and closed. So if you chain 3, sometimes you end up with a space like that. Let's turn our work and begin row number 4. Row number 4, either chain 2 or chain 3, and that will count as your first double crochet. You have some choices that you can make. And this is what I prefer, but you can do it the other way if you want to. Skip 1 and double crochet into the next. And I prefer to cross backward on the back side. So just wrap the hook, and you're going to come into the one you skipped. Just lean it forward and grab it. And you're double crocheting that one from on the back side. Okay, so it's behind. If you prefer to do it the other way, so if you wanted to skip 1 and double crochet the next, and then double crochet on the front side, you're just going to wrap the hook and come into the one you skipped, and therefore you'll end up with this on the right side like that. So you would end up with a different look. You can jump around and do alternatives if you want to to do that, but I prefer to cross over on the back. So what I need you to do is to crisscross yourself all the way across. Okay, so skip one, double crochet the next, and then come into the one you skipped. So let me know in the comments, do you like to crisscross with the second being in behind or the second being in front? Let me know, I'm curious. And just crisscross across, and I will see you back here in a moment. So we're coming all the way across and just crisscrossing, and the very last stitch will be a double crochet. And that was row number 4. Turn your work and let's do row number 5. Row number 5 is back to single crochet, so just chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across. And this helps keep those crisscrosses organized and looking even better. And just single crochet and then turn your work and get ready for row number 6. Just before you turn to go back, don't forget about that turning chain. Most people, especially if they're new, forget about that chain, and therefore they end up with a triangle blanket instead of being squared off. So let's go on to the next round. So let's go on to the next row, number 6. Number 6, you can either chain 2 or chain 3. Let me know in the comments what you decided, chain 2 or chain 3. And you're going to double crochet into the next. You're now going to do what is called as a cluster into the next stitch. And basically that's a 3 together double crochet into the stitch, which is called a cluster. So wrap the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and hold it, don't finish. Wrap the hook and go back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through just 2, and hold. You can see it's building up. And one more time, so wrap, same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and hold. You should see a total of 4 loops by the time that you're ready to pull this stuff through. So yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and that is a cluster stitch. The next 2 stitches will each be a double crochet. And you're going to be repeating this across. Now the texture is appearing on the other side of the work, and it's more obvious as you're working your way through. So the next one is a cluster again. So yarn over and in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and hold. Yarn over and in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and hold. Yarn over and in, pull through 2, and you're holding it, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and you're done. And then the next 2 in a row are each going to be a double crochet. Okay, so that's your repeat going across, so cluster, and then 2 double crochets, and I'll see you close to the other side in a moment. So I'm keeping with this sequence. I got 2 double crochets in a row, so the next one has to be a cluster. I'm on the 3rd last stitch before an edge. And then the 2 last ones have to be a double crochet each. And that's just a matter of keeping sequence, right? Okay, so then you turn your work, and you're going to notice is that you're going to have some popping action here, and ready for the next row, number 7. Row number 7, here we go. We're going to chain up 1, and it's a single crochet row. So 1 single crochet in each of the stitches across to the other side. Turn your work. Do not forget about that turning chain that you need to fill in, and I will see you on row number 8 in a moment. Okay, back to row number 8 here. We're going to chain 2 or 3, depending what you wanted to do, and you're going to crisscross once again. So skip the first one. Okay, so skip the next one. This is the first one. Skip the next one, double crochet the one after that, and decide if you're going to cross in front or in back. In my case, I prefer back. And there's nothing stopping you from deciding that last time you were in the back, this time you can do it forward. You can decide what you want to do. You're the artist. So skip the next one, double crochet the next, and then cross back. So crisscross all the way across, and I'll be back in a moment at the end of the row. Finishing up coming across, I'm just doing my last crisscross, and it should just leave one last stitch empty, which it does, and it's just a double crochet. Okay, and now we're moving on to row number 9. Row number 9, you're going to chain 1, and you are going to apply a single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across. Get to the end of the row, turn them, don't forget that turning chain, and I will start you on row number 10 next. Row number 10 is the final in the sequence. You're going to either chain 2 or 3 and just double crochet yourself across. So I'm going to get there. Don't forget that last stitch that you need to do, and I will talk about the repeating that you'll need to do, and then we'll move on to the border. So this is your sequence. You can use the video chapters to go back to row number 3 and work your way from 3 right here to 10. You can repeat that for this particular project 8 more times. So you're going to restart again and then again and again. The last row, when you decide that it's enough, or if you want to continue to go even further, it's up to you. But the last row after a sequence should just be a single crochet. So let's just do that. When you're happy with the length of your blanket, just chain up 1 into your last row and just 1 single crochet all the way across. I want you to fasten off, and then we're going to start the border work, and we need to change our hook size in order to move up to be able to do this properly. So let's do your border. We're going to still continue with the 8mm size L crochet hook, but on the very last round of this whole blanket, we're going to slip stitch our stuff, and we need to increase to a 10mm size NP crochet hook. So we're going to start with the right side facing up. It's going to be very obvious because the other side's flat, and so you can just start off in a corner, and what we need to do is equally space out the stitches to go in a complete round. It's not hard to go down the edge, but what I want you to do is look at the distance of the stitch work that you have. See the distance? You want to match that same distance on the edges where there's nothing. And once we do our first revolution, it's going to work itself out. And I'll give you tips so that we don't end up with it buckling, or we don't end up with it ruffling to create too much. And we're going to start right here and start our border. So let's begin with a slip knot on our hook, and we'll start up in this corner. And when we start in this corner, we're going to do our corners and have 3 single crochets in each corner. So just reach up and just follow that stitch work up and get the very corner. I don't need you to worry about the counting at all because it's just a single crochet border. Once it's on here, we're going to attach it with a slip stitch, chain 1, and apply 2 single crochets into that same corner space. We're going to do the last single crochet that makes a corner when we get back around. Now, because we're working on the top edge, the stitch work is going to be perfect. Okay, so you're just going to work across the stitches that you see. The right side is facing up here, so it's all good, and I will see you on the first turn right here in just a moment. So I'm coming to the turn in just a few moments. So examine and study the distance of the stitching because we want to match that on the side. And the very last stitch before the turn is going to be 3 single crochets in it, and that will allow it to turn the corner. Just naturally, just turn the project and work down the edge. So you're just going to work in, never go into a big space, always work into chain work, and just start in single crochet. So make sure the tops match the distance look of what you have here. If you start seeing the blanket kind of folding in on itself, it means that you're going too quickly. And if you start seeing the blanket ruffle up, it means that you're being too slow and not jumping far enough between the stitches. So you're just going to roughly eye it out. And really the first pass is your most important pass. So I'm always trying to get into stitch work itself, never to a space or a gapping space between, like to pull a stitch out and apart from other stuff. Okay. See how it's kind of pulling in a bit? I might be, and I'm going to leave this in the video, I might be just a little bit too quick right after that corner. So maybe I need to move back. So I started here. So maybe just throw another one here and then move across. So be very finicky on your first round because it's going to dictate if the rest of the rounds are going to match. Okay, so it is bending forward, but it's not a bend because of tension. It's just the I'm on the right side of the work. Okay, so just do this, and then we're going to get to the other corner in just a moment. So I'm not worried about counting the stitches, I just want to make it look good. So if you do want to manically count stitches, you can. There's no stitch police. So in your very last one here, you're going to 3 single crochet into the corner, and which will naturally turn, and then you can work along the base here. This was the starting chain, and just work along there. So what I want you to do is just equally space out these stitches and just give it a good tug and pull to get rid of the tension, and just go all the way around, and I'll see you back at the beginning in a moment. So I'm coming all the way back around. I have 2 single crochets where I started. I'm going to place in another one into there and then slip stitch it to the beginning. So I want you to lay your blanket down flat. Make sure that everything is looking flat, and you're ready then for rounds 2, 3, and 4. So right where you are is the very corner. So you're going to chain up 1 and apply 2 single crochet into the same one that you did the attaching with, and you'll do the third one when you get back around. You don't need to count anymore. You just have to plop in your stitches with single crochets all the way around in corners. So there's groups of 3 if you recall, and it's going to be the middle one of the grouping of 3 that will get 3 single crochet. So I want you to do that for rounds number 2, 3, and 4, and then when I come back, I'm going to show you how to do the final round number 5, and we need to change our hook for that as well. So I'm just finishing up this rotation. Okay, and I already put 2 in the beginning, and so I'll put in a third one in, and then slip stitch it to the beginning. So you'll do rounds number 3 and 4. When I did the border, I wanted to maximize the use of the ball so that you don't end up with a lot of waste. And I'm going to show you how to do the final and 5th round next. So let's switch out our hook, get our bigger hook up, and I'll tell you why. So we switch to the bigger hook because when we do slip stitching, it tends to buckle because you're too tight. And so what we do is we just go into the regular stitch and we do a slip stitch instead. So by switching to the bigger hook, you're going to avoid yourself from being too tight from what's already existing. So you're just going to whip your way around and slip stitch in every stitch around. The corners, you're not going to add any extra stitches. You're just going to follow it around. And when I come back, I'm going to show you what is called as the surface overlay join, and it's also called an invisible join, and it makes your edging look completely professional. So it's just lifting it up just a little bit to kind of bring everything together and to kind of match the texture that you've already created within your blanket below. So slip stitch around, and I'll be back in a moment. So I'm slip stitching around. It's going to be very obvious where you started the slip stitch. See how it lifts off right there? So what you're going to do is just slip stitch until you get to that moment. So if you join with a slip stitch to the beginning, you're going to end up with a lump on your blanket. So what we want to do is we want to do an invisible join. So just trim this long enough that you can get this through a tapestry needle, and I want you to just to pull up on the loop. With the end, put it onto a tapestry needle. And this is the very first one, you can see it. Take the needle and come from the back side and go through as if you were putting the crochet hook the other way. And pull through. But don't pull it all the way. See where this is coming out of? I want you to go back down through there and towards the back of your blanket. Now, see the distance of the stitching that you've been doing? I want you to match it. So just pull until it looks like it's part of it. See? No lump. Turn it to the back side of it, and you were just going to weave in your ends. So but the first time you do it, just have it tie onto itself. Okay, just make sure you just don't change the tension. And now you're going to go back and forth behind. Don't let that hook hit, or don't let that go into the front of the work. I don't want to see that needle there. And you're just gonna weave it in between stuff. Going different pathways, and you need to at least weave 3 times. Any loose ends that you have in this blanket, you're going to want to do the same thing. So just give it a tie so it will lock, and then weave it back and forth 3 times. You can safely cut out your work, and I've already woven this one in. So you can just turn it over, and you can see it was a nice perfect edging that you have. So this would be how you would make this particular one. So if it was too tight, you can see it's kind of pulling in on one side, it's kind of not on the other. So maybe on this side I just need it to be a little bit looser, and I can just spray it with a little bit of water, not soak this thing, and just let it stretch it, let it air dry, and that's called wet blocking, and therefore you would have a nice sample just like that. That's it for today. We hope you've enjoyed.